In a world plagued by reboots, haunted by sequels, dominated by the same old shit, get ready for an original podcast that will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. Starring Ginger Josh, Adam the Hare, and introducing the immortal Frank. Hold on to your butts. It's the Game Rage Movies TV Podcast. Yep. We're back. We're back once again. This is the Game Rage Movies TV Podcast. This is going to be... I don't know what number this is, but I'm not numbering them anyways, so I don't. Who knows? Probably like 8 or 9, maybe more than that. This is going to be the sequel to the prequel, which was... Yeah. But we did a prequel episode doing the pilot and episode 1.
Did you see the pilot for Has-Been Hotel?
The Has-Been Hotel pilot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked about it on the episode of Has-Been Hotel.
Refresh my memory.
Yeah. So the last episode that Frank and I did, well, I'm Josh, he's Frank.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're right, I'm not. We already did the pilot in episode 1 for Helluva Boss. Now, this is... Because what? Yeah, we were gonna just do 2 episodes at a time, but honestly, I was like, dude, I can't wait that long. I just watched all the rest of season 1, and I've already gotten through some of season 2, which we'll talk about. We're not gonna talk about that because we're gonna do a separate episode talking about just season 2.
And then I was gonna see, do you want to, since if you catch up by season 2 and then watch the music video that came after the break, whatever. I was thinking when we should do an episode, we should rank the songs.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
Would that still be under this podcast, or would that have to be under a different one?
Nah, we could do it on this one because it's related to the
So
show. It'd be like a bonus episode.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it has an asterisk.
Yeah. I'll just put bonus episode
No, that's
in
the
there.
episode. Asterisk.
Yeah. Helluva Boss. Asterisk. Anyways, pull that fucking microphone close to you when you get a chance. Well, if you want motherfuckers to hear you,
I don't.
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, we did episode pilot and episode 1. So now we're gonna do the rest of season 1 for Helluva Boss. Yeah.
So first thing I gotta ask you.
Okay.
Did you notice the huge jump in quality from episode 1 to 2?
Oh yeah, no, it was like watching a completely different fucking show.
Right.
Which I don't know if that was because they got some money or what, but it definitely made a difference. And man, like you had just said about the credits on there about how many people it takes just to do the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it's the same thing for that show. I didn't even realize. I was looking at the credit. I'm like, God damn, there's like 70 fucking people working on this thing.
So many Koreans.
And yeah, most of them were Korean or Korean sounding names. And shit, it just makes me go, fuck, man, that's a lot of people to make a fucking 15-minute episode of animation.
Well, in this case, it was just a 3-minute music video.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
There was like 12 people that were just dedicated
just
to
cleanup. That was it. Oh shit, on the show it was even more on those episodes. Like I've been noticing in the credits, it's like 30 people just on cleanup. Like fuck, man, it's crazy. But anyways, so yes, this is just going to be called the rest of season 1. So if you want to hear the entirety of this, we did, like I said, the pilot and episode 1, which was called Murder Family, was episode 1. We did that on its own episode. It was kind of short. It was only like 45 fucking minutes or whatever, but
45 minutes for episode 1?
No, the episode we did was kind of short. It wasn't our typical
because it was only
length.
2 episodes.
It was only 2 episodes, and we were going to do X-Men the show, but then fucking Frank didn't watch it, so we just kept it with that because fuck it. I think this This show deserves its own.
Is it on Dune still in theaters?
Yeah, I think so. We still need to go see that.
Can we still get? Is it still possible to get the Dune Ducey?
Oh, the Ducey?
Yeah, Dune Ducey.
Yeah, the Dune Ducey.
Yeah.
The Dune Ducey.
Yeah,
the Dune Bussy. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's possible because I mean,
that's the only reason I want to go see the movie.
oh, it's just to fuck the thing, just to fuck the popcorn bucket.
2 reasons. I only.
Yeah, I think it's still probably out. I mean, shit.
We still need to go see Godzilla.
Oh yeah, the new one, huh?
Yeah.
The Godzilla Kong one.
Yeah. Saw the trailer with the big ape grabbed the baby ape and started beating the shit out of other apes with it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That's gonna be a good one. Yeah. So stay tuned for those episodes because we'll eventually go see those fucking movies at some point.
That's
in the next couple of weeks.
The first Dune, I mean.
Oh yeah,
I've seen every Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Well, that's a given. Once you watch the first Dune movie, let me know, and then we can go fucking see Dune 2. Or is it called just Dune 2? Or what do they call
Dune
it?
2, the Dunening.
The Dunening? The Dunenites? Dude, that would be fucking hilarious. Just have 2 little 8-bit fucking little blocks on there, like little Tetris pieces with eyes and a mouth, and just have them talking shit the whole movie. That'd be fucking great. The Dunenites.
That'd be a great bit for the bit bridge. Because we'd be literally abridging Dune into a 8-second clip.
Goddamn. And then, I mean, I could just draw those or I could just have those guys like draw. I could just draw them because they're just shapes.
Just shapes, yeah.
I could just make them in Photoshop and color them and then put eyes.
We just can't mimic their voice.
Oh, no, yeah. We would have to make them completely different voices, but yeah.
Not because of legal reasons, because we don't have that talent.
Yeah, no, we don't. I mean, yeah, I can't do it.
Can you do Gur?
I think if we had a filter, I could probably do it. Hey man, like, see, I can't even sounds whack.
But you can do Meatwad.
I could do Meatwad. Yeah, that's true. What's a line that me?
Hell yeah, I can.
Remember the bits of something?
Can you do Shake?
I don't think I could do Shake. That's too. What's
his name? Richard Harvitz, whatever.
Yeah,
plays,
that's like almost like his actual voice.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's more like a. Oh my god, how do you say it? There's a reactor I watch, and he was watching Hazard Hotel, and literally every male character in there, he was saying, "Wait, is that Alex Brightman? Is that Alex Brightman?" Because he thought they all sounded like Alex Brightman because he said they were doing Alex Brightmanisms. Oh, so I was saying, is that a freaking Richard Narvatzism? Whatever.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So,
because I mean, it's not him. He doesn't play Shake,
right.
But he plays what's it called, Moxie in this.
Yeah.
And the greatest animated character ever known to mankind, Vader Zim.
Oh yeah, Invader Zim. True story.
And Billy.
Yeah. So, anyways, that would be pretty funny for BitBridge. I think we should do that. I think we should look into that.
Yeah.
And I'll just make shapes. I'll just make them just whatever shapes.
I gotta watch it first.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe I can't do it tomorrow because we're going to an Angels game.
That's true. Which, if you want to hear all about that, tune into the debut 5-episode drop of Chirping from the Pine, which will be next week. Yeah, me and Adam have done 4, and then me and you will be the 5th one. So then we can drop it, and then hopefully, it'll continue. We'll just have another podcast to do basically
every so often.
Yeah, like whenever sports related shit comes up, like. Angels.
Dude, we go to an Angels game once every 5 years.
I'm not saying it's not about like going to the stuff, but like obviously, like we said, we're gonna do the Tyson fight on that. The Tyson and we're just calling it Tyson fight. We're not calling it the Jake Paul fight, but whatever. That's for a different podcast. But yeah, we're gonna do that stuff, and
if there is a God, it'd be the wake of Jake Paul.
Yeah, it'll just be the death of Jake Paul on Netflix, starring Mike Tyson
and the Grim Reaper,
and and death itself.
No, it's just. Even Dev's like, yeah, I'll let Tyson take care of this.
Yeah, I don't want to waste my time.
It's like that Simpsons episode, like where Homer's having that dream where he's Yogi Bear. And he starts fucking up the park ranger. And Bart, who plays what's his sidekick?
Who?
Yogi Bear's sidekick.
Oh, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo. And so Bart's like, I think he's had enough. You want some of this? No, he just goes back to doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like other thing. If there is a God, Mike Tyson's just gonna beat the shit out of him, and like the rest could be like, hey.
Yeah. Or really, we'll actually see Jake Paul season premiere of season 3 of Helluva Boss as a person because he's dead. So he'll be there, and then he'll hire Imp to do to kill Mike Tyson in revenge, and they'll be like, oh no, we don't want none of that. They'll just be like, nah, we're not doing that.
Well, did you ever see that clip of Tyson where he's giving some kid on boxing instructions? Like he's when they do the pads, the coach has the pads on his hand.
Yeah.
So he's doing it, and Tyson like no, you got to step in like this. You got to step in like this. And then he literally steps in for him as if he's going to start doing it. And you see the trainer, the color comes out of his face. Like,
yeah. Oh, man, that's funny.
All right, back to the subject matter.
So anyways, all right. So let's get into we fucked around enough at the beginning here.
We always fuck around.
We do always fuck around. It's part of our charm, right? Ish? I don't know. Anyways,
we have no time.
Fucking Dune-nites, fucking Bitbridge. And they're going to be in other shit too. Like, they're not just going to do Dune. That's going to be great. We should just have the like part of clips from the movie and then the seats and them just sitting there. It's like from behind them. And then like, they're just like fucking.
They should be like acting out the scenes.
Oh man, that's even better.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah, man, fuck you. And then they'll come in. Oh, dude, I could just Photoshop cut out the Dune Dussy.
Yeah.
And they could just be like, hey, man, look what I got. And they'll be like, where the fuck did you get that? I don't know. It's supposed to be like the boss or something for this thing. Oh, really? Let me see that. And then, or whatever fucking.
Well, we can't do that on YouTube.
Why not?
And not get monetized.
Oh, we're not making money on this shit.
We could. This is actually.
What if we just bleep it? What if we just like the whole screen just goes beep? Like, will that?
Or, no, just do what everyone else does. Off screen where a character is reacting to it.
And it's just the other one's mouth just drops and then you just hear the
in the background. Yes. Like the episode of Family Guy where they pulling out the anal beads.
Oh yeah.
But it's off screen. He's like goes, it's all implied, but we know what's going on.
Yeah. All right, we can do that. Smart. All right. Anyways, so
all right. Before we begin, why do you feel that this is better than Has Been Hotel?
Oh man, you want to get into the weeds already here.
Not like, again, I told you, you're not wrong for that opinion. A lot of people have this opinion. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, and I don't agree with you.
Yeah. It's like you can see my point, but you don't necessarily agree with it.
No, I see your point, and I agree with you, but I just don't. I don't. The thing for me is I'm not separating Has Been Hotel and Helluva Boss in my head.
Okay.
To me, I'm associating them as the same show almost.
I get what you're saying.
So it's hard for me to say that one is better than the other because to me they're both the same show. Like that's the wrong way of putting it, but it's the best way I can put it right now.
Okay. So for me, the reason why I think Helluva Boss is better than Has Been Hotel. I think
Blitzo.
Oh, who doesn't? Hey, fuck you. The O is silent. Okay. The characters are
not. Me up an hour ago, and he has not stopped making that joke.
And I will not continue. I'm now applying it to my own name. The UA is silent. Okay, it's just Josh
instead of Joshua.
Yeah, it's just the UA is silent.
I thought you were just going by the Mexican pronunciation.
What?
For Joshua.
Josue?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could, but the A is silent.
No, just take all that out. You're just a hoe.
The sway is silent. It's just ho.
Ho.
So
that's a clip.
Yeah, definitely. I already tagged the time for this anyways. So the reason why I think that Helluva Boss is better, it's not about essentially what you would call main characters. Mm-hmm. The focus is on essentially the imps, the Hellborns that are basically
the imps, and then with Luna being the Hellhound.
Hellhound, yeah. They were born there in hell.
So from what I remember, Hellhounds are literally the bottom.
Mm.
And unfortunately,
hey, did you get those shoes on Amazon?
Yeah, why?
I have those same exact shoes.
I had to buy another pair.
Oh, yeah, they're good shoes, right?
They're fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
I bought them for work.
Yeah, so did I. That's what I bought mine for.
But I took a shower before I got here. But part of my job description is to paint.
Yeah.
I do not want to get paint on them. I got a little bit on them.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
So I'm still wearing my old shoes when I paint. But now there's a big ass fucking hole in the sole, and in the
okay.
what's it called? Insole.
Yeah.
So it's just a straight hole. So like when it rained a couple days ago,
Your foot got wet.
yeah.
That's funny.
So I buy another pair to get wet, to get paint covered, and like so I can be like, you know what, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I got you.
Or I was gonna buy slides.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, I like these shoes. They're fucking comfortable.
Yeah, they are. They're Under Armour shoes. Anyways, so yeah, it's about the non-main characters basically, because these are like the weakest beings essentially in hell, and it's about. I mean, Blitz obviously.
Well, here's the thing. I found out recently. It kind of pissed me off because I did that whole thing about it on Has Been Hotel review. You know, I was reading about the power structure.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not based on power. It's social status.
So
now I'm like, great. That throws away everything I was saying that I liked about it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, then does that mean the imps from IMP, could they be stronger now than some of the main cast from Has Been Hotel?
Well, that's kind of like what I'm thinking is because of the fact that they are able to. They have a weapon, basically, being the Goetia fucking, from Stolas, the book, right? The grimoire, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. They have that.
You got to say it like him. My grimoire.
Grimoire. They have that, so they have an advantage over every other imp in hell, and really even an advantage over most other beings in hell, because they can just go.
If we're going back to that power structure, the Goetias are stronger than are supposed to be higher ranking than the Overlords, which are the most powerful characters in
Helluva Boss.
Has Been Hotel.
Oh yeah, Has Been Hotel. Fuck.
Not counting Lucifer and Charlie.
Yeah.
And obviously the angels.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that is the source of his power.
Is the book, yeah, the grimoire.
Book.
The grimoire.
Grimoire. I can't say like that's such a fucking unique voice too.
Yeah, Stolas. It is. Yeah.
But so yeah, that would put him even above sinners.
Right, yeah.
And then I don't know if that'll put him up against the sins.
Maybe, I don't know.
You saw in that episode that Asmodeus was able to fucking clown on him all in that whole song.
Yeah.
Like shit.
But I think that's because he's
supposed to be the weakest of the sins too.
Yeah, well, I think that's also because I think that the Goetia are not supposed to fucking dick around like that. Like I think because they're more like royalty, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And so they're supposed to, I think that they probably are better than the sins in terms of power, but they're also supposed to be literally better than them and be like, oh, you don't stoop to their level.
But in the social hierarchy, the sins are higher than the Goetias.
Yeah, well, again, but the sins are like just kind of, I don't know.
But the sins,
there's not enough. See, and that's the whole thing is there's just not enough there yet.
Did you get to the episode with Stryker?
What happens in the episode?
He tries to kill Stolas.
Yes, that was in season 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, we can't talk about that yet, but
I'm just saying in that episode, I kind of have to talk about it to make my point.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, Stolas has to open the ring for the Harvest Moon,
right? Yeah.
And that's the Wrath Ring. That means he's working for Satan.
Yeah, it's like his job or whatever, as the royalty of hell.
The way I see it, I think the Goetias are subservient to the higher powers of hell. Because I think they're serving purpose. They're out of from all the ones I've seen, sins and all them, they're the ones that are actually working to keep hell running.
Right, yeah. They're the royal family of hell, essentially. But they're also the ones they're like I don't know what you want to call, like the royals that actually do shit to keep it running.
I want to keep saying servants, but that's like the wrong word.
Yeah, it's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is for what that. And again, honestly, there really isn't enough storyline there yet.
In the Wikipedia, because in the Wikipedia, it talks about all the stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And she had a series before this called Suphobia. And which is what Has Been Hotel and all this shit is kind of based off.
Yeah. Oh, Vivzy Pop, right? That's what you're talking about.
And like in that, dude, Adam wasn't even called Adam.
Oh, really?
He was Osriel. What else? But according to that Wikipedia, whatever,
yeah,
Lucifer is literally right under God when it comes to power. there's him and there was another one called Lai or Lu or something like that. That was another angel.
Yeah.
Them two were equal in power, and then above them was God.
Right.
And then there's the hierarchy for heaven. It goes towards the top. It's the seraphims, the elder angels. It just says the prince. We know who that is.
Yeah.
Prince of heaven. And then I think it just said the big guy.
Oh.
His design is weird too. Like the original one. I don't know how it's going to be in Has-Been Hotel if they ever show him.
Yeah.
It's just a top hat and his eyes are like floating. Like, how do I explain it? The original designs of the seraphims in the actual Bible where there's an eyeball.
It's the eyeball and the wings.
And the wings.
Yeah.
And it's just eyeballs that are like floating in front of the hat.
Oh.
Like, I'll show you a photo of it, but it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But in that, it was saying that like Lucifer has the power to erase planets and shit. Like, he's not like, again, that in my last episode where I was talking about, like, that's why I feel like Satan was not Satan. Lucifer was shown to be like a little bitch sometimes.
Well, you know,
compared to what they
Well, like kind of what we talked about too is he's obviously in a depressed state. So obviously that's going to have an effect on his either willingness or ability to not be a little bitch, because he is being a little bitch because he's being all depressed and shit. So,
you know those ducks?
You
know they're supposed to be the physical embodiment of all the souls in hell.
Oh, the ducks?
Yeah, each one of them is a sinner's soul.
Oh, really?
So that tells me all these guys have those contracts like the overlords and shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
they all belong to him.
He literally has all the souls right there.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of Stolas, what'd you think of that fucking song from episode 2?
The one about when
they go to Lululand.
Oh, yeah. Man, that was
that song to his daughter.
Yeah, that was a great song, man. That song got me, dude, because like, you know,
why? You're not fucking a nymph. You're not going to abandon your daughter.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just having a daughter, it just like it gets to you about, you know, I mean, their whole relationship just, it's like, oh man, that's just like, even though I don't do that, it still affects you because it's like, you know, it's relatable in a sense. Like, oh man, I don't want my daughter to fucking turn out hating me like that.
But the one from Has-Been Hotel didn't hit you?
Which one?
The one with Lucifer and Charlie.
No, I did tell you. I think I did say that one hit me like.
Yeah, you said it didn't hit you because you're not an absentee father.
No, I said it still hit me, but it didn't hit me as like hard. But I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's the British voice singing like that did it. I don't know. I can't explain.
Is it British?
Yeah,
it's like posh British. Right?
Yeah, it's like super fancy British accent that he has. So
not good old Lucifer's American accent.
Yeah. It was funny when she tells him that she's listening to that song, "My World Is Burning Around Me" by Fuck You Dad. Like,
it's a band.
Yeah, it's a band, Dad.
Oh,
yeah, and then and then they take him to fucking or what's his name? Stolas wants them to. This is the second episode of the season. Is then Blitz wants him to take Not Blitz. Stolas wants to take his daughter to Lululand, and she's like a angsty teenager now, and you know he's like trying to,
but he's still seeing her do dad eyes,
right? Yeah, and he still sees her as you know like a young child, so he wants to take her to basically Disneyland or whatever, or their shitty knockoff version of it, or what have you. Yeah. But yeah, so then basically he calls Blitz and tells him, "Hey, I need some protection for things." He's like, "We're not bodyguards or whatever."
He goes, "I'll pay you with what? Money. We're there."
Yeah. He's like, "We'll do it, but just this once." And it's not going to be a thing. And then basically fucking
yeah, that show has I think that episode has one of my favorite visual jokes. At the end when everything blows up, and all three of them land on the front, the imps. And like they're all fucked up, and Millie's just knocked out. And then was it Blitz and Moxie were talking shit, and she's just like out. She's out, like And you just see like the little chupacabra thing just
just like
grabs her and just starts dragging her off screen.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, so basically the gist of the episode is fucking Blitz and Fizzarelli have a fucking, well, the robot version of them.
They're called, I think it's called
Robo Fizzarelli or something.
It's a doll, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, and so it's not obviously the Fizzarelli, which you don't even find out until season 2
who he is
really, but it doesn't, because right now it didn't make sense yet as to why
he has a beef with a robot.
Yeah, I'm like, why does he have a beef with this fucking robot guy? And
I mean, obviously the show did confuse me. It made me think like they were childhood, like it's been around since he was younger or whatever.
Yeah,
because it showed him when he was, which is funnier now that we know that was his circus.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, well, because his dad was the one that was running it. Yeah.
That he was so bad at being a circus that when he got older, he had to sell fucking shit.
Yeah,
instead of being part of
it. Yeah. So, but yeah, so he gets Blitz gets into this fight with the Fizzarelli fucking robot and basically blows it up or whatever by the end of it, and then basically destroys the entire fucking Lululand at the end of it. And the episode kind of just ends with them. Okay, fucking Stolas had his moment, kind of, with Octavia, his daughter, and while they're not 100% back on terms, but it's like better, it's better. So she gets what he was trying to do, basically. And so I thought that was a pretty good episode. Shit, what happened? Okay. So I thought it was a pretty good episode. It was a fun little episode. It had some backstory that we got to see. The songs in it were pretty good.
Which was that one and the Fizzarelli one?
Yeah, the Fizzarelli one.
A lot of people I don't get it that people didn't pick up on because this whole thing is about this Lululand being a ripoff.
Yeah.
And in Fizzarelli's song, he starts stealing the song from the Has Been Hotel pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. So then the next episode 3 we got was Spring Broken. And this was the one with his ex-girlfriend fucking that's
the one that
Verosika
Mayday or
Verosika Mayday, yeah.
That was the one I told you was my favorite joke is when like, oh, I should have known you were here by all the Amber Alerts.
Yeah, and then what's funny is because they basically, he gets there. It's the whole episode starts off with them coming back in the van, and then there's a car in their parking spot, and he's like, "God damn it! This is the one thing that we have for renting this fucking stupid building out, and it's this fucking parking spot." And he's like, "That's it. Get the fucking rocket launcher or whatever." And he's like, "We're gonna blow this car up." And then it turns out that it's her, and then it's got fucking Vortex, I think was his name, right? Her wolf. This is where fucking Luna, who is the Hellhound, obviously, and also Blitz's daughter. Which, man, that fucking episode later on, because that was in season 1, right? When they show her, because that was in that episode 8 with the Kesha one, right? Wasn't that how they showed the adoption?
I think it was that one or the one before it.
I think it was that one, because that was when he's like blacked out drunk, or maybe it was before.
No, it was when they goes to LA.
That's right. When they go to find Stolas'
daughter. Yeah, that's when he
so it was the one before that. Yeah, the pug, and that's when you see like he
goes into a whole fucking mental breakdown.
Yeah. And so
but like, to quote a guy that I was watching the other day talking about this, saying like, "Oh wow, it's so sad in hell. Who would have thought?"
Yeah. One of the funny jokes that they talk about is that because she basically.
By the way, if you're watching this, spoilers alert.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously spoiler alert because we're talking about it. One of the funnier fucking things that he says too in that whole thing was that when Blitz fucking like was with her, he basically left her in the hotel room and then stole her credit cards in her car, and then he maxed out all her credit cards on fucking horse riding lessons. It was like the most useless fucking thing.
Well, no, I don't know if you noticed, but he has a whole thing about horses.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like he'll reach into his pocket to grab his cell phone. He has a toy horse. Or the one where did you see episodes when they fought the Cherms?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Shit, what was I gonna say about that? Remember, he was saying, we have to do it because he already paid us, and I bought this with that money. It was another one of those horses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it's because he could make. Well, we'll find that out in season 2, so we'll talk about that later. But basically, she rents. She's like, "Oh yeah, we're doing for spring break. We're renting this fucking this place here." He's like, "God damn it!" So they go into their office, and it turns out it's the office on the floor. Right, it's like right across from them.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, "God damn it!" And so. Blitz fucking goes in there and starts talking shit to her, and basically he's like, you need to fucking take care of this. I won't stand for this. So then they have a bet, which was to see who if the imps could kill more people, or if her and her crew could fuck more people.
You know what's funny? Because the way he phrased it, he goes, I bet we can off more people than you can fuck. There was a lot of reactors that thought that he was also trying to fuck them.
Oh,
that was funny.
Yeah, that is funny. And so then basically Blitz comes up with a plan, and he's like, all right, we're going to do this. And then that's when they go. Luna wants to come along because obviously she's into this Vortex fella, and she wants to fucking, I don't know, get at him or whatever. Mm-hmm. So Blitz tells him, he's like, no, he's like, he says that thing about how spring break is no place for a vulnerable goth girl.
No, Earth wasn't.
Earth wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't for a vulnerable goth girl. You know what kind of filthy people live out there? And then they all look at the camera.
Yeah. And then
because
she's like, oh, I can blend in, and she shows her human disguise. And everybody's like, oh, what the hell? And then
she's like, wait, you guys have been fucking around without having disguises?
Yeah, and then they're like, oh shit. Like which is pretty funny. And then they never get human disguises in the show, at least
they do.
So far.
They do really bad costumes.
Oh, that's right. That was when they went to Hollywood.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, because in that episode, we'll talk about that episode, I guess, when we get there. But it was just fucking, what's his name? Stolas and Luna that turn into fucking humans. And then they're like, shit. And then they have to go get costumes, and they look all shitty. That's fucking hilarious. So then... basically, yeah, Verosika sings one of those, the song. Which one was it?
Fuck, I forgot it already.
Was it something Dong?
It wasn't a very memorable one.
Yeah, I don't really remember which one it was. Man, why is this thing fucking freezing up?
Because it's an Apple product.
No, it's the web page. But anyways, so they do the song. There's, they're killing people, and they're fucking people to the song. And I think Blitz, they win, right?
No, because they had to blackmail them.
Oh, that's right. Because they fucking came up here to Earth, and they're not supposed to.
No, because remember she threw her Beelzebub juice into the ocean?
That's right.
Created that giant monster?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, we'll just rat you guys out.
Fucking one of my favorite jokes in this one was the when the fish eats Moxie.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Millie's trying to save him.
Yeah.
And like he's in there punching the uvula, whatever it's called.
The uvula, yeah.
And she's trying to reach him. And it's like,
and it's
he's fucking blacked out drunk.
Yeah. Man, and yeah, dude. What's his name? Moxie always gets fucked up, dude. Like he's literally the comedic relief, slapstick, fucking getting fucking beat down every fucking episode. Like this next episode, the cherub one. Mm-hmm. This one's hilarious because that guy, when he comes in at the beginning of the episode, everyone's breaking their fucking walls.
That's also a joke in Has Been Hotel, remember?
Yeah, that's
they keep
true.
Blowing up that one wall.
Yeah. And so everybody's breaking in. It's this fucking guy who's like some crazy inventor from Earth. And he died because they were trying to make this machine that would make them immortal or make them like age backwards. And they accidentally had it set to older. And so then...
my question is, why didn't they set it back to...
Why would that even be a setting that you have?
Well, I was like, even besides that point, after they fucked up and made them old, couldn't they put them back in there and make them young again?
Yeah, that's what I would think. But, he died while he was in there, so he wouldn't be able to come back. Yeah, the other guy, maybe he could have. But anyway, so the whole point of the episode is this guy wants Imp to go to Earth and kill him. And they're like, hey, well, you know that... basically, once we kill this guy,
he'll be down
here with you forever. And they're just like, he's like, yes, that's precisely what I'm planning on. And they're like, oh, all right, you sick bastard. We see what's going on here. Yeah, we'll do it. So then they go up there, and that's when you find out about Cherub, which is the heaven basically the heaven version of Imp.
Yeah.
Where they do the opposite, where instead of they go up there, Imp goes up there to kill people, Cherub goes down up there to, or well, gets down there to, to help people if they're going to kill themselves or if they're whatever. It helps them to not do that, right? They instead of killing them, they want them to live, give them a second chance, like you said. So the little cherubs go up there, and they're both just fucking trying to negate each other the whole time, right? And it's funny because the old man is on like his deathbed and he wants to kill himself. And it was funny because they go up there and they're like, man, we got to figure out where this guy lives. So they take one of those star tours and they're on the bus. And then the guy says, oh, and this is a famous inventor, whatever, so-and-so. And they're like, cool. And he's like, oh, look, and there's some crazed fans about to commit murder right now by breaking into his house.
A common sight here in Hollywood.
It's a common sight here in the famous town of Hollywood. And so that's when they break in.
I just love that series. Like, he goes, where they go in there and they see that he's saying like his final goodbyes to his loved ones. Yeah. In that photo.
Yeah.
He goes, I've always loved you, whatever. And it's like, not only is it a stock photo of money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even the paid version. It was the free one that still has all like the what's it called? The watermark.
Yeah.
So you didn't even pay for that photo.
Yeah, that's funny. So basically the only song that was in here was the Cherub jingle or whatever.
Which is not better than the Imp one.
Yeah, basically. And so essentially the cherubs basically at the end of it actually fucking kill him by accident.
After he finally he wants to live.
He decided he wants to live. And so they're like, oh, cool, hooray. And then they accidentally kill him. In a funny way. Where the fucking, the piano, yeah.
He jumps out of the way and it fucking moves over to hit him.
Yeah. And so, so then I don't remember what the lady's name was who's like their boss. I don't know if they even said who it was.
Oh, the fucking Office Space joke?
Yeah. And she's like, yes.
No, I can't.
No. They're like, but we did it by accident. Yeah, sorry, no exceptions. And then basically they're like, you guys can't come back to heaven now. So sorry, you're fucked. And so then at the end, when they go back, they're like, oh man, like he tells the guy like, hey, we failed because we didn't kill him.
And they break in the wall again.
And then the dude breaks through the wall.
But this time Moxie was ready for it.
And he moves out of the way. And then another one, the other elevator, which is the guy who they were supposed to kill. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, wait a minute, but I thought the cherubs like, got you into heaven or whatever. And he's like,
please, you don't become a millionaire by not experimenting on the poor.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I was definitely coming to hell. And he's like, yes. And now we're best friends. So now we can be here forever and be, partners in hell or whatever. And they were like friends the whole time. That was why he wanted to kill him, to come down so that he could be there with them or whatever. And then that guy from the commercial at the beginning who was talking about like, are you a wacky inventor? Yeah. He's like, hey, come with me, guys. And then he's like, oh God, here we go. So that was basically the fourth episode, which was I thought that was a good one. Or yeah, fourth episode. And then episode 5 was the Harvest Moon Festival. Yeah. And I thought this was the one. This was a really good episode.
That's the one with Stryker.
Yeah, that's the one with Stryker where he tries.
For this episode, he was voiced by Norman Reedus.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. And this episode was pretty awesome because basically, it was basically Stolas was like, "Hey Blitz, I gotta fuck." After they just boned, and he's like, got the BDSM suit on or whatever. And he's like, hey, I gotta, I need my grimoire for my grimoire. I need my grimoire, Blitzy. Because he has to go up do the Harvest Moon. It's like the one thing a year that he has to do. He has to go do, he has to show them the Harvest Moon down in the Wrath Ring to allow them to, to keep morale high or whatever. It's like the festival.
He's supposed to help with the crops or whatever.
Yeah, or do some shit. But it's also like a festival to keep their demon morale up or whatever, or their imp morale up. And so
that fucking shark.
Yeah, man, that was fucking hilarious. The shark just keeps coming in the water, gets him. Oh,
and then when they're fucking in the
on the wrestling one, the pig wrestling. Yeah,
he literally comes in and drops the elbow
on him. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so we get to see Millie's parents, and we get to go to because Millie and Moxie are both from the Wrath Ring.
Well, no. What's his name? Isn't Moxie?
Oh no, he's not.
Yeah, there's a continuity error there. Later on, it gets retconned.
Oh, okay. Where's he actually from then?
Greed Ring.
Oh.
There's a whole episode about it.
In season 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that's where he keeps saying, because then now they're saying about how there's this contest, this toughest wrangler or whatever in the and they're like old, it's like a Western, like, redneck fucking town.
Yeah.
And so they got this guy Stryker that they hired to work on the farm with them. And so he's doing all this shit, and Blitz is basically, they're like, oh, you're the boss. Like, hey, you want to go skin a fucking thing? And so Moxie tries to do shit and fucks it up. And so then Blitz does it. And then that's when they're like, oh, cool. Well, we'll do this and you can enter the contest. And Moxie wants to enter the contest too. And he just gets his ass handed to him every single fucking time. And there's this shark that keeps fucking attacking him, gets him in the water. Then like in the wrestling
water.
Yeah, and then the water thing. Then they go in the wrestling match and he's literally jumps off the top rope and drops the fucking elbow on him and fucking crushes him. And then basically at the end of the contest, it's Blitz and Stryker. They tie for the best.
Here comes trouble.
What, the cat? Basically they tie for the first place of the thing.
She always come to me.
Because you're new. She always does that to me whenever she's down here. She'll sit between my legs like that. It's because you're different and she wants, it's like the dogs. Like whenever, they'll come get pets from me and then whatever. But then when someone new comes over that they haven't seen in a couple of days or a week, they immediately go to them to get pets. Because they're like, oh, this is someone to give us pets because they haven't given us pets. Oh, see, like that. See, exactly like you're doing.
Have you tried the toothbrush check on them?
No. What's that?
Supposedly if you like wet it a little bit and brush their head with the toothbrush, it reminds them of their mother.
Oh, really?
Like a little state.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to try that. Anyways, so basically Blitz offers Stryker a job to come work for them.
Remember, before you continue, after Moxie gets eliminated, and remember Millie's trying to, comfort him?
Yeah.
It's like, you're right. He may be stronger than me, but I'm better at other things. Like I can sing. I would like to sing this song to everybody.
Oh, yeah. And then he sings this fucking song about...
like, hey, fuck you, Moxie.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. And so then eventually they go back to the farm, and Moxie ends up finding him in the room with this fucking giant... Well, it's with the
who you now know from Has Been Hotel,
right? Which is the Angel. Well, it's made from angelic metal, so it can kill.
In this case, royalty.
Yeah. And so he's like,
in reality, it can kill anything.
Yeah. And so he's like, wait, why do you have that? And he's like, and then basically Stryker tells him that he figures out that he's there to fucking assassinate Stolas, and so, Moxie's getting his ass beat, and then Millie happens to just come in and she fucking starts fucking him up, and then Stryker fucks her up, and then they call out for Blitz, and then Blitz ends up showing up, and then he's
they don't
like,
call out for him.
She says to him, Moxie, why don't you use what you're good at? And he's like, oh yeah, and he pulls out a gun.
No, it says, because you may not be good with your hands, but you're good with your head.
He's like,
I'm not good with my hands.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And then he's like, oh yeah, I have a gun. And then he pulls out of his shirt.
Goes, I probably should have done this earlier.
Yeah, he's like, I probably should have done this from the beginning.
Look, I love you and all, but for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and so then he fucking they gets the
continue on that.
Yeah.
One of that moments what made me laugh the most was when he threw them down there.
Yeah.
Down the basement. He fucking rolls down the stairs and he just tosses her and she fucking lands leg first into a bear trap.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, right into the bear trap. And then that's when he's like, oh yeah, and then he shoots the fucking the hole through the door to get out. But basically Blitz is in there, ends up getting in there
to save his meal ticket.
To save his meal ticket. And so then he ends up fighting fucking Stryker, and then he calls out for fucking Luna, and he whistles for her, and she's just like, yeah, coming.
Whatever.
And so then literally Moxie gets back up there and they're about to kill fucking Stryker. And she fucking breaks through the door and fucking knocks them out before they could do it. And she's like, all right, I'm here. And then she's like, oh shit. And then they eventually end up fucking defeating Stryker, and he ends up escaping.
Yeah.
And so
and then
you find out at the end of the episode that
it was Stolas' wife.
It was his wife that was trying to kill him because obviously she was pissed at him.
And then to find out even further, the camera pans out further to show that she's at the dinner table
with him.
Stolas in the face.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't let this motherfucker live another minute. And then she slams the phone down, and then it zooms out, and yeah, she's literally at the dinner table staring at him.
And he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So yeah, that was a good episode. I liked how at the end Moxie finally gets his balls and he fucking tells He tells the dad off and about because they're talking shit to Millie.
Like he was it Blitz was like really like I know it's part of his character, but he was like really extra mean on this one.
Yeah,
to
yeah, he really was. And so Moxie basically tells off the dad about, hey, you need to go easy on her, and she's fucking way good, and you guys don't appreciate
You're the ones
her.
that hired her.
Yeah, exactly. And so then, yeah. And so then he's like, you hired this fucking idiot from whatever, and look what happened, and blah blah. And then the dad literally just goes. And he gives him the nod and leaves, and she's like, "Oh my god, you got him now." He's like, "Oh, that's the first time he's ever acknowledged me. Oh my god!" And then she's like, "I think you've earned his respect." And it was just funny to fucking see that, and it was cool to see like Moxie getting his due, I guess, because he's the beat the shit out of character. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to see that. And then next episode, oh man, this was like. I feel like this was maybe my second or third favorite episode. The next one, the Truth Seekers, where it was the government or I don't know if they're the government agency.
That was a great one.
That was such a good episode. This was so great. Basically, the plot of the thing is these.
Yeah, that one had a really great song in it.
Yeah, wait, let me find what it was called because I want to. It was the Moxie's Bad Trip.
Yeah,
and then there was an instrumental with Stolas. Or whatever, but it wasn't like an actual song. But yeah, so fucking
god damn, dude, that was probably the most intimidating thing I've ever seen Stolas do. That was fucking great.
Yeah. So basically, there's these two agents of some unknown government top secret agency that are monitoring. They're trying to show that the demons are real or whatever, and basically, They see them on a previous. They see Imp on a previous mission, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And then they're like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, because they weren't wearing disguises. And they're like, "Oh shit!" They're like, "Man, it's impossible to guess where they're gonna come and where they're gonna happen next."
And they come up here in the alleyway.
Yeah, they show up in the alleyway outside of their fucking like apartment that they're in or whatever, and they're like, "Oh fuck yeah!" So basically, they ended up getting into a fight with the agents, and Luna is back in the thing operating the grimoire, and basically Blitz basically tells her to fucking, because they get caught behind, and Moxie and Blitz end up getting left behind, and Millie makes it through, and Blitz tells her tells Luna to close the fucking portal. So she closes it, and then Millie's like, "We gotta go back," and she's like, "Wait a minute, he didn't cuss at me or
any information." Oh, what's the word?
He used no insults, and there were no profanities, so I know he was serious.
Innuendos, that's what it was.
Yeah, there were no innuendos, and basically
he was serious.
Yeah, he was serious, and so basically, then it goes to them two, Blitz and Moxie in the thing. They're like getting interrogated.
They were just fucking with those guys.
Yeah, they were just fucking the whole time. They're like, "Oh, you've got electric shit. Ooh, that's fucking great. I like that." And they were just talking all this shit to them the whole time. And then they end up getting them with like the truth gas. And then Blitz starts fucking talking shit to him. And he's like, "I never even liked that song that you told me about or whatever."
I think and then he goes, "Oh, I think you dressed tackily."
Yeah, and then they were just like talking and insulting each other.
But truly insulting, like the way people that know each other would.
Yeah, and so...
which leads into that song.
Oh, that's right. It's called Dorks. That's what it's, the DHORKS. And so after that, basically, they... Luna and Millie, they're like, "Oh, we need to go back." So they go back. They get in there.
Song, man.
What?
Don't forget about that song.
Oh, yeah. That was... When was that song in there?
That was right after they got the truth bomb.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that song was fucking good too. The what did I say it was called? Moxie's Bad Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when they gave them that truth sauce, and then everything starts fucking getting all weird around them, and then they're just basically fucking talking shit to each other in the song, and it's going back and forth between the hallucination of Blitzo and Moxie, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, anyways, after that. That
was funny. The guy that plays Moxie, Richard. He's the. I don't know if he's an executive producer, but he's like, or the head of voicing or whatever. I forget what the title is.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
No, good. Yeah.
He's
Oh,
the
he's
head.
one of those things.
Yeah.
Interesting. So essentially after that song happens, that's when Luna and Millie get in there. And they're just killing everybody. Millie is just losing her. She's just killing all of them. She like goes into this room as the door's closing. Like Luna throws her in there and she has this fucking sweet axe. And you just hear the screaming. And then she opens the door and the body parts are still flying through the air after she killed everybody. It was pretty good. And
what do you think about Blitz's rocket launcher?
Oh yeah, that was fucking cool, man.
The rocket launcher was called Pussy Destroyer.
Yeah.
And then the rocket edge was called My Dick.
My Dick, yeah. And then basically they're getting,
hey, damn it, why do we only use weapons from the Shodai period?
Oh yeah.
Hey, the Shodai period was fucking amazing and you know it.
Yeah. So then basically they end up the agents end up drawing the fucking logo or whatever of the Grimoire thing to call Stolas back.
Well, no, he
did something, right?
No, he just shows up and possesses that one bitch.
Yeah, that's right. And so then
he's just making everything all dark and creepy. Like that was fucking cool.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And so basically, yeah, he comes and like basically saves them or whatever. And then they go back and that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much the end of it. Except the agents go basically like, oh, now we have the evidence we needed to be like taken seriously. And they're basically saying, oh, nobody back in the base is going to ignore this shit. And that's
got a photo of Stolas.
Yeah. So that's basically going to, I'm sure that's going to be something that comes up later on, or there's going to be some reoccurring theme with this. But yeah, that was a really good episode. And honestly, I think that is probably maybe my third favorite because I think this next one, Ozzy's, this one might be my number one episode of season one, man. This episode was fucking really good. The songs were fucking great. Let me just scroll down to it real quick so I can. The House of Asmodeus song, man, that was such a good song, dude. But basically, the whole point of this episode is that it's Moxie and Millie's anniversary, and they're 1 year.
Involved with it.
Yeah, and Blitz wants to be involved, and they're like, "No, man, like, you know, this is just for us." They got a reservation at Ozzy's over in the Lust Ring, which is this, you know, famous fucking club or whatever.
Well, yeah, because it's the one run by
Asmodeus. Yeah,
it was the sin of lust.
Yeah, and so then fucking Blitz basically fucking secretly follows them, and the bouncer at the club basically tells him to get fucked. It's for couples only, and he's like, "Oh, really?" So then he calls Stolas and he's like, "Hey, you want to do something?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean like an actual date?" And then he's just like, "Yeah, I guess." And so then they go. He shows up down there, and they basically go in, and the guy's like, "Oh, you again, the bouncer?" And he's like, "Oh, you need to get the," and then Stolas is like, "Is there a problem here?" And then he goes, "Oh, no, Your Highness, no, Your Highness, go right in, Your Highness." And Blitz is like, "Hey," he fucking flips him off as he walks by. And so, basically, when they're in there, that's when you see the actual real Fizzaroli. He's like hosting the event or whatever at the club, and so. It's basically, he talks about he's like, and if any of you shitbags know who destroyed fucking one of my Lulu lands or whatever, he's like, oh, I'd like to meet him and fucking, you know, kill them all. And so then he introduces some of the people who are performing, which is going to be Verostica. And then fucking Blitz is like, God damn it.
His former best friend and his former ex.
Yeah. And so then basically, the first act is it's the song by Moxie, which is it's a song that basically is just, it's about love and how he loves Millie. And this, you know, obviously in the Lust Ring, that's just like, who gives a shit? If nobody gives a shit about that. But it's funny to see how that dynamic of their relationship is not something that's normal.
Right.
It's not considered normal in hell, basically. You know, they're married and they're basically, you know, they actually do like love each other. And basically Asmodeus gets in with Fizzarelli and starts talking shit about this, and then they go back and forth, and there's like a little back and forth in between there. And then that's when fucking he notices Stolas in the crowd, and then he starts talking shit to Stolas, and he's like, oh fuck, he's trying to like hide himself. And basically Blitz tries to fucking come to Moxie's, defense, and Fizzaroli starts fucking with him. Asmodeus is fucking with Stolas. And so basically,
it's funny. Like, this is actually one of my least favorite episodes. But
really?
Not because it was a bad episode, because it's a good episode. Just I hated it because of how much they got fucked over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, like that. Even through all of that, fucking Millie's and Moxie love still power.
Right. That was what was great about it. I felt like that was why it was fucking so awesome, was because at the end of the day, it didn't matter what anybody else thought. And
kept on singing.
Their love shined through, whereas Stolas and Blitz's relationship is essentially the opposite of theirs, where
I'm gonna say it's the opposite.
Well, in comparison to the way that they show each other, I feel like Blitz and like Stolas is actually in love with fucking Blitz. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Blitz really does feel the same way about him, but he just doesn't.
He can't allow himself to feel that.
Yeah, he just can't do it until he figures it out, maybe later on. But their love, it's the opposite in the sense that Moxie and Millie are just out there with it, and them two have been hidden in the shadows in the polar opposite of those two types of relationships, essentially. So it was cool to see those two things at the same location, and how the one shines through and the other one goes back down into the depths, essentially, because of the situation that they were in the same boat, I guess. So that was pretty cool. And then basically at the end of it, Blitz goes to drop off fucking Stolas, and he's like about to cry.
Dude, isn't this on a side note? Yeah. Isn't this keep fucking awesome? Where in the inside it was like
it's like the space, like it was cool as shit, man. So Blitz drops him off, and he goes home, and he's like fucking depressed. And then he sees a note from Luna saying she's out on this party with Vortex, and so
which leads into the next episode.
Yeah, which leads into the next episode, which basically
that was a depressing ass ending, though.
Yeah, it was. It was very fucking depressing.
You can tell that there's something between them. This is where you really see there's more to it than just fuck buddies,
right? And then that's where, that's what's so great about the way they we can't talk about it until we do the season 2 episode because I need to finish the series. But that opening episode of season 2 was just like the perfect way to do it. From like a storytelling perspective, that was the best way to fucking do it, was because we got in essentially what was the last episode. Because I do think that was supposed to be the episode ending for season 1, that this episode, but because of the whole Kesha issue with the next episode, I think that's why this episode, the next episode, it happened to be the end, because they didn't release it until like a year after the series was already over, basically.
Because they couldn't.
So then they just called it season 1, episode 8. And so that was technically the ending episode, which also had a sad ending kind of too, but
it was a little bit more upbeat though.
It was. But I think that was meant to be before this episode, because it was to show you why. Because like you see how when Blitz shows up and he's all fucking, when he comes to her aid and he's all like, because he wakes up out of the thing alone. Yeah. That was during the end of this episode.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think like, oh, you didn't know until why he came and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get fucked up at this thing. I got more problems or whatever.
Because of what happened with Stolas.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like, I think you were meant to see
like that first. Yeah.
And then that's because, so that's why it was like reversed or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, getting into the next episode, the final episode of season 1, which was called Queen Bee. And this was a fucking great episode, man.
I'm just upset that we couldn't see Kesha sing that song.
Yeah, I am too, because I thought the girl who did a really good job of pretending to be Kesha, essentially.
Yeah, but it still wasn't.
It wasn't the same though. Like and you could tell like Kesha wrote this because she wrote the song.
Yep.
And you could tell that she definitely wrote the song, and that's one of the things that people don't.
I wanted to ever release like a version of her singing it.
I think they probably will eventually. I would hope so.
But wouldn't that kind of be an insult to whoever what's her name was?
No, because I think the person that they got to do it, this was just like a one-off thing, and I think it was because they knew we can't have her sing the song, and that was the whole point of it. Was, hey, this is Kesha. Like, we need you to do a stand-in for her until we can figure out how to get this out.
I guess that was one of her breakout things, though, too, for Busy Pop. Is that she made like an animated version of one of Kesha's songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like that was. Like,
that's how it got the relationship started, kind of.
I guess, yeah.
Interesting.
We're on time, by the way.
We're just hitting an hour, so I mean, we're good. So we can do the natural finish to this, and we hit the time period, so we don't have to make up bullshit.
Yeah, going back to Queen Bee though.
Yeah. So this episode, the song, man, you can tell like that's one of the things that's very interesting about Kesha is people don't give her.
She hits bangers, dude.
Yeah, I mean, she makes bangers, and
they're not like ones that are gonna last forever. Like TikTok is probably gonna last for a while,
right?
All her other songs aren't bad,
yeah,
but they're just meant to like entertain, meant to party, dance to. So she's always every one of her songs are like, yeah, I like them. Like this one, I really liked, but again, it's harder because she didn't sing it,
right? And that's one of the things I think people they underestimate Kesha's talent level in the fact that she doesn't just make the music, she writes it. She does the whole thing. She creates. She's more of a writer.
Beyonce didn't write a single one of her songs. Everyone says she's the greatest singer of all time.
Right. I mean, she may be the greatest performer of the song, but she's only doing that portion of it.
Wrong. I get it's a common thing. With music, but like when you look at people like Queen, where literally every single member of the band wrote a greatest hit.
Right. Yeah. So that's where I think with Kesha, they underestimate her talent level, and it shines in this episode because even though she didn't perform the song itself was great.
Fingerprints are all over.
Oh yeah, and it's a great fucking song. And even honestly, her voice acting is fucking great too.
Yeah,
like she was very good in this episode. And essentially, this episode is where Vortex invites Luna to go to this fucking party.
Well, before we get to that, we didn't even go on. I forgot to ask this question.
Yeah.
Since you said with Kesha, what do you think about Norman Reed's performance?
Oh yeah, as Stryker, I thought that was a really good performance. But again, that dude is a trained, legitimate actor, right? Yeah. So I expect that.
I'm not trying to compare them.
No,
I'm just trying to say because we didn't mention it when we were talking about that episode.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, yes, he performed and he did the voice acting.
It almost didn't sound like him, right?
I honestly couldn't tell it was even him to begin with, and then until I had to look it up to see who it was, and that's when I was like, oh shit, this is Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
But you can tell,
which is funny. The guy that supposedly got him was Edward Bosco, from what he said in the Unexpectables episode.
Mm.
He was the guy that played Alistair in the pilot.
Mm.
So he got him because he's an actual voice actor too.
Yeah.
So supposedly he got him in through his connections, whatever. But Norman Reedus could have come back to continue playing the Stryker.
Mm.
So Edward Bosco ends up voicing him later on.
Oh, when he comes back around?
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
I just thought it was funny that he got him on and he replaced him.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, that performance was excellent. And as you would expect from someone of the caliber of talent of Norman Reedus. But it's funny because people don't necessarily think that Kesha would be in that same category, but I think her performance was just as good.
She played Party Girl perfectly.
Oh, perfectly. And that's another thing too. It could also be the type of character that you play. And that's where I think I'll give Vivian and the other guy, what's his name, who writes this stuff?
Oh, Brandon Rogers.
Yeah.
Well, she both of them write it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're like like a team, I guess, right? Like a writing team.
It's mostly her though.
Right. I give them credit in the sense that they.
I want to say mostly her, but it's her. Like from what I understand, from what I read, it's story aspects that she couldn't keep in Has Been.
Yeah, and that she wants to. Explore in another sub-series. So I get it. But as from a writing standpoint, I give them credit because they definitely they find the right people to play the parts. They find the people that, and seriously, if they already knew that they wanted Kesha to do something, knowing, and that's the thing too, if you know you want to work with somebody and you know that they'll do it, write a character that you know that is write the character around them.
Can I give an example of what? Yeah. Of the opposite of that and why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
The Wiz. You ever see that movie?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, The Wiz, where it's a musical, right?
Right.
They had Michael fucking Jackson in the movie.
Yeah.
The king of pop, the entertainer, the fucking one of the greatest dancers known to fucking mankind.
Mm.
And what did they do with him? They made him a scarecrow. He was stuck up there.
Right.
And
Couldn't dance.
This is all he could do.
Yeah.
Couldn't dance, and he was singing a half-ass song.
Right. Yeah. And that's the opposite version of that is not writing a character to
Their
the
skills.
strengths or to their skill set. And so I got to give them credit for that. But
Yeah, because every guest star on has Helluva Boss has been great. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there's more that I just can't pin my head to right now. But you can't say that. I mean, you can say that for Has Been Hotel, but the whole cast is stars, so
right. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not the same.
Correct. So, anyways, yeah, this episode is Luna going to this party she's invited by Vortex, and that's when she goes and she's very
Antisocial, wallflower.
Yeah, I mean she's a like what calls her a vulnerable goth girl essentially, and you see that like innocence, I guess, in her or inexperience maybe of she hasn't really been, and you learn later on in season 2 why she's like this, and that's like you don't really see it. Obviously, you see it now at the beginnings of it, but you see the reason later on, and it really makes her a more tragic character that you feel for too. But obviously, she's like once she gets introduced to what's her name, Queen Bee, which is
Beelzebub.
Yeah, it's Kesha's character, and she basically introduces her, and
she's a sin of gluttony.
Yeah, and so basically, it's Vortex's girlfriend, and so she's just like, oh fuck, never mind. I just want to leave. Like, you know, I don't want to fuck around here. And the Queen Beelzebub, Queen Bee actually likes her because she's not fake like everybody else. She actually like says the truth and speaks her mind, and she's not afraid of people fucking telling her to fuck off or whatever. And so,
I mean, they did have that confrontation.
Yeah, but that's later on. And so then she wants to go home, so she calls Blitz, and he comes to
he's still depressed after what happened at Asmodeus.
And and then so he comes hauling ass over there to pick her up, and then this one dude from outside's like, "Hey, aren't you Blitzo?" And he's like, "The O is silent, asshole." And then he's like, "Oh man, you're so cool," like blah blah blah. And he's like, "You should come back in," and then Luna gets excited because she's like, oh, hey.
She's another guy, yeah.
Right. And she's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, he says some shit to her about how she's cute or something. And then she's like, oh, come on, let's go back in. And he's like, all right, fine. One drink.
He's doing a cake stand.
And then he's literally doing the cake stand. And then Queen Bee breaks out her fucking special stash or whatever.
Beelzebub juice, whatever. What's the name the succubus was drinking?
Yeah. And then she's like, she's like, no one has ever outdrank me. And he's like, oh, bitch, you're in for some fucking shit today. And so he literally starts doing it, and then he pops the fucking hose off and just starts chugging the fucking keg.
The fucking cake, the hose was too slow.
Yeah, and so he fucking just chugs it, and he beats her, and he wins. And then
that's when Luna actually like straight up finally, like, she was teasing it the whole season when she finally says, hey, that's my dad.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then he starts acting a fool in the thing, and so Beelzebub tells her like, hey, you need to go fucking
like, yeah, I'm all about partying, but he's partying to forget. Like,
he's got some problems. He's got some issues. And so she's like, okay, fine. So she goes and finds him, and that's
when they had that confrontation.
Yeah, that's when she gets all like fucking.
Yeah, but like, I don't get what the problem was.
I think she was starting to realize that Luna was there to try to, like, you know, get with her man or whatever. And I feel like that she was just getting fed up with it. Like, oh, she's like, I'll entertain this little girl for now. But then now that she's become like a threat to her because, okay, obviously her dad, then she had to start, like, you know, doing something about it. And so basically
the best joke of the night.
Oh yeah, when she goes up there and he's fucking making out, and then he's like, "Oh, your name is Dennis." He's like, "Oh, you would be a Dennis." And then he's like, "Yeah," and then he's like, "I need an Alejandro or a Monica, god damn it." And then basically Luna punches out an imp who is like, oh, hey, I could do that or whatever. And then she just fucking knocks him out and she just takes him to the party, says goodbye to everybody. And then she drives him home. And then she's like, do you need to vomit? And he's like, no, I'm fine.
Like a little kid.
Yeah.
No.
And then so she gets him on the couch and then she says like, here's a water and a blanket. And then she says like, whatever. And he's like,
starts like talking to himself.
Yeah, he's like, I had a shitty day. And then he's like, fucking Fizz was right about fucking me. I'm gonna die alone. And blah, blah, blah. And he starts saying all the shit that they were talking shit about him. Yeah. And then he falls asleep.
She realizes, oh yeah, he did have a bad day.
Yeah. And then she basically says like, hey, don't worry. Like, you're not gonna die alone. Like, I'll be there when the time comes.
He straight up asks her like in that sad tone, like, would you be there for me?
Yeah. And then he like passes out. And then he fucking, after she goes in the room, he fucking throws up this massive amount of shit. And then he wakes up and goes, oh, damn, I guess I did need to throw up.
Great way to end the episode.
Yeah. And then that's the end of the episode. And yeah, that was a great way to end it. And then, that fucking song, the Cotton Candy song.
Yeah.
And then Monsters Ball. That was the song that was the end credit song. That was a good song too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So though that was definitely one of the top episodes. I feel like for sure. It might even be number one for me of the whole season so far. And like I said, it just reiterates the stories of essentially what are like the common people, the common folk. Even though Stolas is essentially royalty.
And then we have the sins, though, too.
Right, yeah. So I'm saying, like, you get to kind of see that other aspect of it. It's not the main characters. Obviously, the whole purge thing doesn't even happen.
They're not on the wrath ring.
Right, they're not. Well,
they are in the pride ring, but
right.
Hellborns are excluded from the execution.
Right. So basically, like, none of that shit affects them at all.
You know what the opposite of So in hell, when you die and go to hell, you're called a sinner.
Yeah, okay.
You know what the opposite is when you die and go to heaven? A winner. That was part of the whole Adam thing. Are they sinners or are they winners?
Oh, okay.
We were singing his badass song.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, so at this point you've met 3 of the sins, right?
Yeah.
Asmodeus, Beelzebub, and Lucifer.
Right.
So what's your opinion on those 3?
I feel like in terms of,
well, I guess we already talked about Lucifer.
Yeah, but Asmodeus was kind of cool. He seems kind of like a dick, but
he is a rooster.
Yeah, so he does seem like a fucking straight up cock.
Just wait until later.
Season 2?
Yeah, he has some great episodes.
Yeah, all right. Beelzebub was cool. I mean, we only saw her for 1 episode, so but I mean, like I said, that character was great.
I mean, you've only seen Asmodeus for 1 episode. That's
true. So we'll see. We'll see.
We only saw Lucifer technically 1 episode because he was
in part of 1 and part of the other one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure in season 2 of Has Been Hotel we'll get to see more of Lucifer, and I'm sure in season.
Oh yeah, because remember when they rebuilt the hotel?
Yeah.
They made a apple.
Right.
That's supposed to be his room, and then Alistair's radio station was on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Someone did a fan drawing.
Uh-huh.
And it's Lucifer hanging out the apple, like he's opening out the window, he's flipping off the other side, and you see Alistair's on the other side on his thing, flipping him back.
That's funny. So yeah, the season 2 obviously is already out for Helluva Boss.
It's on a break right now, but it should be coming back soon, from what I heard.
Yeah. So how many episodes are 8. Okay? So how many have been released? Actually, I could probably just look on this.
That's how many have been released is 8.
Oh, so then is the whole season complete?
No, it's supposed to be the last one was a mid-season like finale kind of thing.
Helluva Boss. Let's see here. Let me just look up season 2 real quick.
Wrap it up with history.
Where?
Well, we passed it already.
Oh. Season 2. Where's the episode list? I don't know if they have that on here. Productions, episode guide. Okay. Wow, they have 4 fucking seasons on here. Does that mean that they're... Oh, yeah. Seasons 3 and 4 TBA. The end date for this one was, TBA. Because, so there's total for 14 for season 2. So, let's see. Right now, we've got...
6 more episodes?
Yeah, so right now there are Yeah, well, there's 7, so they got half.
Oh, okay.
So there should be.
This one was 8. What was 8? The 7th title?
7th was Mammon's Magnificent Musical Mid-Season Special featuring Fizzaroli.
What was it?
So that's episode 7. And then, so you know what we'll do? We'll do Helluva Boss season 2 part 1 because we got 7 episodes to go through. And then these claim they're going to get released in 2024, but it's TBA. Oh, that's funny.
What?
They have half or not half. They have a little more than half of the episodes' names on there.
Uh-huh.
So 8 is the full moon. 9 is called Apology Tour. 10 it's called Ghost Fuckers, which this is going to be fucking cool. And then 11's Mastermind and 12 is Sinsmas. So that's got to be like a crisp. So I have a feeling these are going to come out towards the end of the year now. And then 13 and 14 aren't named on here yet.
Go to YouTube and look up number 7, see when it was released.
This was released on October 29th of 2023. So they started in July of 2022, and it took them basically over a year to release 8 episodes or 7 episodes. I mean, So I'm hoping that maybe that's why they took this break, because then they're gonna just
Get them all done at once.
Yeah, goddamn, because they really They went from July for episode 1, then episode 2 came out in October of 2022, then episode 3 came out in March. So July, August, September, October. That's 3 months. October, November, December, January, February, March. That's 5 months. And then April, May. So that was 2 months for the next 4. June, July was another 2 months for episode 5. And then July, September, or July, August, September, October. Oh, no, wait. August, September. So that was 2. So now it looks like they're on like a 2-month cycle. And then this Fizzarelli special one came out a month after the 6th episode. So it looks like they might be on a schedule where it's been, if they wait until October of this year to drop the rest of the season, then it looks like it seems as though they increase their pace at which they can make these episodes. So if that's the case,
on top of that too, they're done with, they're still working.
They're working on season 2 of Has Been Hotel.
That's probably what's slowing them down.
Well, that probably, was what's slowing them down here. But if essentially they've figured out how to, if they make all these and they're done and then they put them out, I think they'll probably drop them all. It'll start in October and it'll go, because there's 7 more episodes. So that could be, if they did 1 a week, that'd be over 7 weeks. So theoretically, we could probably have the end of the season sometime in December, which would make sense as to why they have a Sinsmas episode in there. So I feel like October, November is when the second part will drop. So we'll do season 1 part 1 as one episode.
We'll do the Asterisk episode.
And then we'll do the Asterisk episode. And then
hopefully
in the Has Been or Vivzy universe, I guess, Vivzy Pop verse or Vivzy verse, as I have coined it now, which is now a copyrighted term
unless they already used it.
I doubt that they fucking used it.
How would you know?
I haven't seen it listed anywhere. The Vivzy verse. Well, whatever. Then we're gonna do, once these, because if these episodes are probably not gonna come out, even if they come out like once a week, we should do 1 episode a week, and then it'll be a short 20 or 30 minute episode of us talking about it. But either way, we'll do the next part of the season as singular episodes, so that way we can put them out as they come out, which will be cool. So, anyways, overall, what did you have to say about this season in overall season 1?
Enjoyable.
Would you have a rating for it if we were gonna give it a rating?
Probably an 8.
An 8. Yeah, I'm going a little higher than that. I'm giving it like an 8.5 to 9. I really enjoyed it, and I think season 2 is going to be. I'm going to have an even. I might even.
I enjoyed season 2 way more than season 1.
So far, with what I've seen, it's on track to get a 10 so far. But I haven't seen the whole thing yet, so I can't comment specifically on it. But I have seen the first 2 episodes. Oh, this is episode 3 is the one that I'm on now, which was when he goes to his childhood home. So okay, that's what retcons the whole thing. So all right, so yeah, we're gonna do.
What was 4?
4 was Western Energy Striker exists, and things are sure do happen. So I'm going to say that probably next week, So a week after this episode comes out is when the next season 2 part 1 is going to come out of this, because I'll have finished this by then, and then next week we'll record when we sit down, talk about season 2. But do you have any other thoughts or things to discuss at the moment?
Pretty much everything I said, but yeah, it's a great show. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, me too. So like I said, stay tuned for season 2, which will be a week after you listen to this. And then also, go and support, since you guys don't want to support us, just go and support the fucking people who make the show. Go, whatever, follow them and fucking watch the show. It's fucking great. It's a good show. And I would like to say that it's very interesting how, of all these episodes that we've done so far, Has Been Hotel, I mean, the Godzilla -1 Color is the number 1 episode, right? But the Has Been Hotel episode is, I think, number 3, and then the what is it? This one was like right under it. Like these episodes, people come out, they show up to listen to us talk about has the Vivziverse. So, we appreciate you, and shit. If you got any cool or interesting fan art, fucking send it to us on our social medias at Game Rage Magazine and at Game Rage Mag on Twitter if you want to do that. I mean, you'll hear it at the end, but send us some shit and we'll fucking repost it. I don't care. We'll fucking put it up to our tens of followers. We will fucking, show them all of our cool stuff, all the cool stuff that you guys make. So anyways, that's it. That'll be the end of the episode here. So thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Oh, hey there, buddy. It's me, 1930s announcer guy, here to congratulate you on making it through this episode. As our heroes are getting in their jalopies and riding off into the literal sunset, they wanted me to tell you thanks for listening to their radio broadcast, and should you be so kind as to follow them on some fancy schmancy radio station publication called Instagram and TikTok at Game Range Magazine, and on some other thing called Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, they wanted me to inform you and ask if you could be so kind again as to visit something called a website at www.gameragemagazine.com. I don't know what that is, buddy, but you should probably go do those things. And, don't forget to tune in next time to the Game Rage Movies and TV radio broadcast.